Hello, everyone. This video is about the learning curve. I thought that I should make a quick video on learning curve and how we do the calculation. So what is the learning curve? As you know, as a human, when we perform an activity, we will gain some improvement because of the repetitive of that job, basically. So the first time you do a job will take you longer than the next job. So because you're learning, this is what we call the learning curve. So the time required to perform a task decreases with increasing repetition. So the more you repeat the task, the less time that you need. To do this calculation, to find out, this is important because we need to find out the capacity of facility. We need to know the cost of alternatives and so on. So we need to learn about how we could calculate the learning curve for a human. The equation for that is listed in the textbook as equation 7S1. The time to finish the nth unit would be equal to the time to finish the first unit times n, which is the number of units, to the power of p, which is the learning curve percentage, the len percentage divided by the len of 2, which is the logarithm natural log for the learning curve, percentage divided by the natural log for 2. All right, so let's take a look into example how we could apply this. This is the most important. Again, the theory behind it is the human performance requires less time if we repeat jobs, if we repeat the tasks. So let me share with you my Excel sheet here in just a second. All right, so we have this example from the textbook saying production airplanes is negotiating a contract for production of 20 small jet airplanes or craft. The initial jet require an equivalent of 400 days of direct labor. Then the percentage, the learning curve percentage is 80%. Estimate the expected number of days of direct labor for the 20th jet and for all the 20 jets. Determine the average labor time for each jet using the total labor time spent on 20 jets. So what I want to tell you, there are a lot of ways for doing it. So the textbook tried to simplify it. They provided some table, which is table 7S1, and they show you the percentage and so on. But what I want to do, I want to stick with a simple way for doing it, which is basically, in order to find the time to finish, the number of tasks would be equal, or the task number n would be the first task, the time to finish the first task, times n, the number of tasks, to the power of s, or they call it power of b in the textbook. S would be the log of learning curve divided by the log of 2. So the first thing you want to do whenever you have a learning curve problem is to find what is that s. The s would be, again, the log of 0.8 divided by the log of 2, and that will give you negative 0.35. Negative 0.32. And so times for each jet here, first one is 400. This is given to you. For the second one, just following this equation right there, would be the 400 time to finish the first one, which is the 400, as you see here, times B7, which is the number of jet. This is, we are on unit 2, to the power of S, which is minus 0.32. And then we, as you see, we made this as a dollar sign before and after so we could use it again and again. So this is locked cell. We locked the cell for C2. However, B7, we need it to be a variable cell. So I did dragged from the lower right corner all the way down to find out what would be the time for each one. So the Excel will copy the equations for you on the following cells. So now the answer for A would be, in order to, based on this learning curve, for the 20th jet, we need 152.48 days. And now for part B, the total time for all 20 would be adding all these numbers together, that would be 4,041.49. I understand there's a difference between this, my answer, and the textbook answer. And the reason for that, because I'm using a more accurate technique. The book is using a table and there is some rounding in the table. So either one would be fine with me, but however, using Excel would be more accurate. So that would be the time for 20 JITs would be 4,041.49 days. And the last one is the average time. You divide that time by the you divide that time by 20, and that will give you 202 per JIT, per airplane to finish, and these units per day, of course. All right, that's it. I hope this is helpful. Please let me know if you have any question. Thank you.